Hey, what's up guys? It's Issa with Journey to Programming. We're in a little bit different of a setting than normal. I normally record these from inside my home office, but today kind of doing it in my garage, and you can kind of see there's a weightlifting rack and stuff like that. So I figured I'd open up this one and kind of introduce you guys to some of the other stuff I do outside of development. Not that it's going to become a part of this kind of channel here or this group, but yeah, I do quite a bit of like lifting. I have an old athletic background in college, so I do actually have like a power rack here, a whole bunch of weights, bumpers, sandbags, and stuff like that. A lot of fun stuff for me. So outside of my 9-to-5 or running my software businesses and doing stuff for this channel, or those types of things, I guess my nerdy slash professional side, I do lift a lot of weights. I play sports. I played football in college. I did some rugby afterwards, and maybe you guys could have guessed I'm a big dude, so that works. But anyways, that's enough on that. If you guys ever have questions about my background on the sports or athletic side, then feel free to ask. What I really want to talk about right now is the recent layoffs that have happened at some of the bigger firms or bigger tech companies out there. So I think there's some big ones that have gone on recently, and theoretically, so I figured I would just briefly mention them. I think one of the biggest things right now is a lot of the tech companies that are in, let's say, travel, are getting hit really hard, and a lot of them are furloughing people or they're laying them off completely. An example of that in entertainment slash travel is big companies like Disney. So Disney recently announced that they're furloughing, I think, like 40,000 employees, which is insane. And I'm actually very surprised because I have engineering friends that are being furloughed as well. I didn't expect that because they don't work on the day-to-day parks. They don't work within those parks. They work in the background, in the development space, so they're developing applications and tools and other cool stuff as Imagineers, but they're getting furloughed as well. So I was really surprised to hear that, but I guess it makes sense, especially right now, given that a lot of cities are nailing down on, first of all, quarantining, working from home, and making sure that people are not working jobs going on site if they're not required or mandatory. So it does make sense. It's very difficult. I have friends who are engineers who have been making good money for a while, and thankfully they've made wise enough decisions to save money from their income, but they've been furloughed, and some of them are now out of income, which is kind of crazy. They've got families and stuff like that. And I know that's affected a lot of you guys. A lot of you know people like that too. And I'm sorry if that's happened to you or somebody you know, and if they're facing a really rough time. Hopefully some of the crazy stuff that's going on is helping in terms of like the unemployment benefits and stuff like that. But in either case, I do empathize and understand that it's a really tough time. I hope you guys are able to kind of figure it out, push through it, and know that we will get through it. I'm lucky enough to be able to continue working from home in my engineering job. So I sit at my desk in that room that I normally record in, and off to the side that you guys haven't really seen is my actual day-to-day job work desk. And I sit there doing a variety of programming tasks, communication between other engineering teams, etc. I won't go into too many details there. But yeah, again, thankfully I've been able to retain working from home my job. So that's a tough time. So if you're in that situation, you've either been laid off or you guys are furloughed, I really do hope you guys are doing well and figuring it out and getting by. If you're looking for contract gigs and such, there are opportunities out there. One of the last posts I made basically talked about how you can get some contract gigs, especially if you're experienced. Just know that you're not going to be pulling in probably the same income as we normally make in our full-time roles, especially if you're here in California, where we do get paid a bit higher than other states because of the cost of living, etc. But you could at least bring in a few thousand extra a month, and it'll help you guys kind of get through those bills and payments that you have to right now. So if you're thinking about that, check out the other video. Basically, just the TLDR on it is, if you want to do small contract gigs, there's a lot of companies that are looking for ways to survive themselves, and you can reach out to those companies, see if they're interested in developing their web presence and improving upon it, see if they're looking to update their websites. A lot of companies are using platforms like WordPress, and they're actually getting it through WordPress's kind of available platform, just paying monthly, etc. Some people are doing like Squarespace, and some of the build, what you see is what you get, WYSIWYG stuff. So a lot of them just need help making updates there. It's not necessarily going to be deep development work, but you can get some quick contracts there and make a few extra $1,000 a month or a few extra hundred, whatever it is. But the best place to really start with that is to reach out to people you know. It's kind of cliche, but at the same time, that is the reality of it. If you reach out to people you know on Facebook, most people know somebody that's struggling or that wants a little bit of help to update what their website looks like or what their offerings are, and they don't necessarily want to take on the task themselves, and maybe they don't have a friend or family member that they can trust to do it for them. So you could possibly kind of lend a hand there. Again, don't expect to be making a huge income on that or off those jobs, but it's a starting space. So if you want to take it a little bit further, you could try to find out if any local companies are looking to make applications, mobile applications for Android or iOS, and you can see if anybody's trying to reach out to people there. So as companies are working from home or trying to get a little more exposure, there are opportunities in that space to be able to create mobile apps for those businesses. Maybe some people want to integrate some basically PayPal or Stripe integration on their website, or they want to create a mobile application that allows people to make purchases to pre-order and pick up curbside, like a lot of the companies are doing right now. So those are opportunities for you too, especially if you come from a web development background. If you come from a web dev background and you have exposure to JavaScript, then go ahead, take a look at the integrations that are there and maybe specialize in that niche and reach out to people there. So if you know how to do payment integration into a website or how to create custom kind of widgets or modules for WordPress and stuff, plugins, then that may be a good niche to jump in and specialize on to see if you can help those businesses that need that specific stuff. And again, I would still start with the people you know, because that's going to be your quickest route to finding a gig really quickly without having to go through like a bidding process with a long review, because those are probably all on hold right now. A lot of companies are not really doing procurement right now, plus there's usually a lot more competition in the procurement space. Other good areas to jump into, I won't say games unless you're looking to develop your own game and maybe sell it, because that's a really rough industry to be in. A lot of companies are not gonna hire an unknown developer to create some sort of mobile application, mobile game, or even a desktop game or green light game for Steam. They're gonna hire a small studio that's decently known, has produced stuff before, and the people that are willing to hire you are really gonna undervalue how much effort it takes to develop these things. So I do not recommend that. Now, if you want to develop your own application, I think games are very viable. You guys are probably realizing that people are playing a lot of games right now. So if you have a month where you're furloughed and you don't have any other kind of gig, and you have the money to put on hold, and you have that game development experience, you know Unity or Unreal. Actually, I lean towards Unity. It's really easy to throw something together, especially for mobile platforms. Then go ahead and jump into making an app. It's not going to hurt you to do it. You'll get some development practice in for this month, and then put it on the marketplace. Tell all your friends about it. Maybe advertise it a little bit on Facebook ads. See if you get some downloads. If you want to take it really seriously, grab a team, get some of your art friends. If you have some graphic artists or some 3D modeling artist friends, and try to put together something a little bit more complete and get it on the market. It's not going to hurt. It'll be good practice. It'll look good on your guys' portfolio for whatever that's worth, if people care. But it'll at least be some practice in the downtime. So if you are laid off and you're from the games, you could possibly apply for a game programming position again soon. Or if you are just in general trying to get some exposure in that industry, it helps. Again, these are just a few ideas. Check out my other video. There are also a lot of companies that are hiring, so if you're not looking to do the gigs or contract work right now, or trying to do the hustle to find business, which is tiring, it's exhausting, and it's stressful if you don't always have cash flow coming in, then see if any companies will hire you as a developer right now. Lots of companies want JavaScript developers. They want people that know Python and the frameworks behind it. If you know Django, if you know Angular or Node as a back-end person, those are all going to be advantageous to you. So check out my other posts. I link to a forum which lists companies that are still hiring. And yeah, I hope you guys are all doing well. Again, this is just kind of an impromptu post from my garage gym. I look really scruffy. I think a lot of us are right now. We're not shaving. It's like no shave quarantine. But have a good one, you guys. If you have not subscribed, please do. I would really appreciate it. And I'll chat with you guys next time. Have a good one.